February 2022 shocked the world. But the war between Russia and Ukraine didn't begin in a single day. It was decades in the making. In this video, we go back to the very roots of the conflict. History, politics, revolutions, and broken promises. This is how the path to war was paved. In 1991, the Soviet Union, a global superpower, collapsed. Ukraine, once the jewel of the USSR, declared its independence. It was a turning point in history. Overnight, Russia lost not just a republic, but 25% of its population, key industries, and most importantly, influence. But Russia didn't forget. Many in Moscow, including a young KGB officer named Vladimir Putin, considered the breakup a tragedy, a geopolitical disaster that must one day be reversed. Through the 1990s and early 2000s, Ukraine struggled politically and economically. Torn between East and West, it became a battleground of influence. Russia sought to keep it in its orbit. The West, especially NATO and the European Union, offered a different path. In 1994, Ukraine gave up the world's third-largest nuclear arsenal in exchange for security guarantees from Russia, the US, and the UK. A promise sealed in the Budapest Memorandum. But as Ukraine leaned westward, tensions grew. NATO expanded east, including Poland, the Baltic states, and others, countries that were once part of the Soviet sphere. Russia watched with alarm. In 2004, the Orange Revolution erupted after a rigged presidential election. Millions of Ukrainians demanded democratic reform, and they won. But in 2010, a pro-Russian candidate, Viktor Yanukovych, came to power, stalling Ukraine's Western ambitions. In 2013, Yanukovych suddenly rejected a deal with the EU. Protesters flooded Kyiv's Maidan Square. Months of unrest led to a deadly crackdown. But the people didn't back down. By February 2014, Yanukovych fled the country. Russia responded with force. In March 2014, Russian troops, without insignia, seized the Crimean Peninsula. A controversial referendum followed, and Crimea was annexed by Russia. The West called it illegal. Moscow called it a return. Shortly after Crimea, war broke out in eastern Ukraine. In the Donbas region, pro-Russian separatists, with weapons and support from Moscow, declared independence. The Ukrainian army fought back. Towns like Donetsk and Luhansk became war zones. Thousands died. Russia denied direct involvement, but evidence suggested otherwise. Weapons, troops, funding. The West imposed sanctions, but the fighting dragged on. Two peace deals, the Minsk agreements, tried to stop the bloodshed, but they failed. Ceasefires came and went. Trust was broken. By 2021, Ukraine was still at war in the east, still striving for Western integration, and still resisting Russian pressure. But something was shifting. Russia was building something, preparing, and the world didn't yet realize just how close we were to full-scale war. In the next video, we'll explore what happened in the months leading up to February 2022, the buildup, the warnings, and the day the invasion began.